If you like rock, you've probably heard of the 27-year curse. It's a popular term that arose because several famous music artists died at exactly 27 years of age. This attracted attention because it wasn't just one or two cases. There were several important names, especially in rock, who had intense lives and remarkable careers but died very young. In this video, we're going to talk about rock singers who died at 27 and who left a huge impact even with a short career. The idea here is not to glamorize the tragedy, but rather to remember the talent they had and the incredible music they left us.
No one remembers your name when you're strange.
Jim Morrison was the lead singer of the band The Doors, one of the most notable bands of the 60s. He was a different guy. He liked poetry, had crazy ideas, and on stage it was impossible not to look at him. His voice, the way he sang, and the lyrics he wrote were very strong. He had a presence that captured everyone's attention, and he was known as the Lizard King, with songs like Light My Fire,
Know that I would be a liar if I what to say.
Riders on the Storm,
Like a dog without a bone and packed around alone.
and Break On Through.
You know the day destroyed the night, night divides the day.
The Doors were very successful, and Jim became a symbol of rock. But off stage, he lived on the edge, he drank too much, used drugs, and had problems with the police and the media. He was also very emotionally unstable, which only increased the controversy surrounding his name. In 1971, he moved to Paris to try to escape his problems, but ended up being found dead in the bathtub of the apartment where he lived, at just 27 years old. No one knows for sure what happened, as an autopsy was never performed. The most likely cause was cardiac arrest caused by heroin use. Even so, Jim Morrison is remembered to this day as one of the greatest names in rock and roll, and remains a legendary figure. Janis Joplin was no ordinary singer. She sang from the heart. Her voice was strong, full of feeling, and you could feel her pain and joy just by listening to her. She started out with the band Big Brother and the Holding Company, but soon became shown with her unique talent. Songs like Piece of My Heart,
Didn't I give you nearly everything I ever had to give? You know I did.
Cry Baby, and
Honey, know she told you that she loved you much, much more.
Me and Bobby McGee
Soft while Bobby sang the blues. When she
showed that Janis didn't need much to move you. Her voice alone was enough. But behind that power, there was a fragile woman who suffered from insecurity and used drugs and alcohol to try to forget it. She also faced problems for being a woman who was different from the standards of the time. This greatly affected her self-esteem. In 1970, she was found dead in a hotel room after a heroin overdose. She was recording the album Pearl, which became a classic after its release and was successful even after her death. Janis died at the age of 27, at the height of her career. To this day, no one has forgotten the power she put into each song. She is remembered as one of the greatest female voices in the history of rock.
Hey, Joe, I heard you shot your lady down.
Jimi Hendrix is considered by many to be the greatest guitarist of all time. He played in a different way, created sounds that no one had ever made before, and it seemed like the guitar was part of his body. It was amazing to see what he could get out of the instrument, with effects, improvisations, and a creativity that seemed to have no limits. He mixed rock with blues and psychedelia, and songs like Purple Haze, Hey Joe, and Little Wing remain incredible to this day. Jimmy was also very creative and liked to experiment with new sounds and effects. At Woodstock in 1969, he played a version of the United States national anthem on guitar that became historic. But his life was very busy. He barely slept, took medication, drank, and used drugs. In 1970, he died in London after choking in his sleep, after taking medication and drinking wine. He was only 27 years old, but he had already changed music forever. His way of playing influenced generations, and to this day is a reference for any guitarist who is starting out. Kurt Cobain was the singer and guitarist of Nirvana, one of the most important bands of the 90s. He wasn't just an artist, he was a person who put everything he felt into his lyrics, chords, and voice. He spoke about pain, confusion, and emptiness in a way that many people could relate to. The album Nevermind, released in 1991, became a phenomenon with songs like Smells Like Teen Spirit, Come As You Are, and Lithium.
I'm so happy 'cause today found my friend.
But Kurt didn't handle fame well. He was shy, had health problems, and used drugs frequently. The pressure of being the spokesperson for a generation was something he never wanted. In 1994, he was found dead at home with a gunshot to the head. The police said it was suicide, but many people still debate what really happened. He left a farewell letter talking about the difficulty of feeling joy and the mental exhaustion he suffered. Kurt died at the age of 27 and left an entire generation speechless. Their music remains strong, speaking of pain, doubts, and truth. Nirvana has become one of the most iconic bands of all time. Amy Winehouse wasn't exactly a rocker, but she had enough attitude to be on this list. She mixed soul, jazz, and R&B, but with a strong, raw, and true touch, and her voice was something out of the ordinary. It was hard to listen to Amy and not get goosebumps. Success came with the album Back to Black, which earned her awards and tours around the world. Songs like Rehab,
I said no, no, no.
You Know I'm No Good, and Back to Black showed that she was a unique artist. But Amy had serious problems with alcohol, drugs, and depression. The pressure of fame and troubled relationships only made things worse. In 2011, she was found dead at home due to alcohol poisoning. She was only 27 years old. Even with few albums, Amy marked a generation and influenced many people with her sincerity and unique style. She continues to be remembered as one of the most remarkable voices of the 2000s. Brian Jones was one of the founders of the band The Rolling Stones. He was the guy who put the group together and played several instruments, not just the guitar. He was incredibly talented and helped create the sound that would make the band one of the biggest in the world. He was the one who gave the exotic touch to the songs with instruments like the sitar and dulcimer. But over time, Brian began to distance himself from the other members. He had a lot of problems with drugs and alcohol and ended up leaving the band in 1969. He was increasingly unstable and isolated. A short time later, he was found dead in the pool at his house. The circumstances have never been fully clarified. The official version is drowning, but many people think it could have been something else. Brian was only 27 when he died. Even so, his contribution to rock was enormous. Without him, the Rolling Stones might not even exist. Kristen Pfaff was the bassist for the band Hole, which was led by Courtney Love, Kurt Cobain's wife. She was talented, played with determination, and helped give the band's sound a weight and energy, especially on the album Live Through This, which is considered one of the great alternative rock albums of the 90s. Kristen also had her own problems. She struggled with heroin addiction, and even after trying to get away from it, she ended up going back to the same routine. She even left Seattle to try to change her life, but returned shortly after. In 1994, a few months after Kurt's death, she was found dead of an overdose. She was only 27 years old. Her story is not well known, but it shows that the music world can be cruel, even to those who are just starting out. Kristen left a mark, even in such a short career. Ron McKernan, better known as Pigpen, was one of the founders of the Grateful Dead, one of the most important names in psychedelic rock in the 1960s. He played keyboards, sang, and had a bluesy style that gave the band's songs a special touch. It was the more earthy side of the group's psychedelic sound. Pigpen was very beloved by fans, but he had serious drinking problems. Even when the rest of the band experimented with LSD and other drugs, he preferred alcohol, and this took its toll. He even left the band due to health problems caused by drinking. In 1973, he suffered an internal hemorrhage caused by liver problems. He died at the age of 27. It was a great loss for the Grateful Dead, who never had someone like him in the band's sound again. Despite his early death, Pigpen is remembered as one of the pillars of the band's early days. The deaths of all these artists at the age of 27 is sad, but it also serves as a warning. It shows how fame can take a heavy toll and how important it is to take care of your mental health, body, and soul. These singers left a huge mark on rock. Even in such a short time, they changed music forever. And most importantly, they left us songs that continue to live on, inspiring new generations. The 27 Club is a strange coincidence, but it is also a reminder that talent has no age, and that true art, made with the heart, never dies.